Welcome back to Real Beer News. I'm your host, Shaun, with Miriam. And we just watched last night The Blackening coming out today. So, we're going to talk about it.
Oh, yeah.
Funny as hell.
It was so good.
It was the most fun I've had in a movie theater. Actually, that's not true. It was because I watched Joyride, I think, 2 weeks ago.
Yeah.
And that was funny as hell.
Mm-hmm.
But The Blackening was really funny
Mm-hmm.
with my culture.
Yes.
Right? Joyride was Asian culture,
Mhm.
and this was black culture, and it's just great. Which is cool to know that, like, this was based off of a skit that they did for Comedy Central,
Yeah.
and that was pretty cool. They kept almost all the same characters, at least the character's name. Dwayne plays Dwayne, and they combine a couple of characters here and there, but it's pretty great.
Yeah. Yeah, it was a lot of fun. It definitely had Comedy Central vibes, so I
Mhm.
was not surprised. I was like, this feels like Jordan Peele and everybody.
Yeah,
Like,
Key and Peele.
yeah, Key and Peele. So, it was a lot of fun. It was, again, I was laughing the whole time. It was really fun to watch together because this is like
Yeah.
one of the first times we've watched a movie together in theaters.
Yes.
I think it's the first time ever, actually.
Yes.
Yeah, wow,
Yeah.
that's surprising.
Yeah.
Yeah. So it was, very funny. I think all the actors did such a great job.
And it was just so good. There was a lack of melanin, though, in that theater.
Yes.
A severe lack. And so a lot of white people there,
Yeah.
laughing at shit. I'm like, y'all niggas are racist. Just calling y'all out right now. Y'all were laughing a little too hard. Every time you heard the N word, y'all were laughing a little too hard. That's all I'm saying. That is all I'm saying. No, but it was so good.
Mhm.
It was really good. I do like, though, that it kind of calls us out a little bit as a culture, right? Because we do tend to make fun of people. We make fun of a lot of people.
Mhm.
We don't care. And that's okay. And I think that's okay. Like, it's okay to make fun of people as long as, they're okay with the jokes, I guess. Growing up in the 90s, that wasn't a thing. You made
Mhm.
fun of people. You didn't care if you hurt their feelings. You're making fun of them. Fuck it. They have to grow a tough skin kind of a thing. And I feel like this movie did touch base on the fact that, you gotta make fun of people. And one of the things that we do joke a lot about is if you're not doing what it's considered normal in black culture, we revoke your black card.
Mhm.
We also give black cards to non-black people. I know I've done that
Yeah.
quite a few times.
Yeah.
Not only revoking but also giving out black cards, right?
Yeah.
And so I do like that we touch based on how someone who it's already almost not black enough
Mhm.
could take that into like a very at heart kind of a
Like
thing,
taking it personally and stuff.
because
Yeah.
they're losing the only identity that they have.
Mhm.
And so I thought that was pretty cool because, like, being out here, and we make a lot of fun of, like, Utah, like, damn, you barely see a black person in Utah.
Yeah.
But damn, do you barely see a black person in Utah. Especially a black person that's not from, like, another white, like a very white area.
Mhm.
I'm talking about blackity black, you know? Like, I'm talking about the type of black that you're like, oh, damn, you from the hood, bro. Like, you straight up, damn, all right. Like, you don't see that in Utah, right?
No, you don't. Yeah.
You tend to, I feel like I fall under the category of one of the characters, like King,
Mhm.
who I'm not married to a white woman. However, you become a little more white, more assimilated to
Mhm.
the culture that you're in. Not necessarily to fit in, but just you want to leave the ghetto behind.
Yeah.
And I think that's okay. There's nothing wrong with leaving the ghetto behind. You don't have to bring the ghetto wherever you at. However, the ghetto still lives inside you. The
It's in your
gangster,
heart.
the gangster's in here. All right. You don't want to test that, but I feel like that's where I fell in that category. And I also kind of identify with Lisa. Was it Lisa? Yeah.
Was she?
No.
half-
The one
No.
that was half and half. What was her name?
Um.
We're really bad at
Allison?
this.
I think it was Alice. I
think
know it
you're right.
starts with an A.
I think you're right.
I think it's
We're
Allison.
gonna call her Allison.
Yeah.
Even if it's not, it's Allison for today.
Sorry if it's not Allison. Sorry, everyone.
She's half black, half white.
Mhm.
I'm half black, half Hispanic, and so I kind of felt like that too, because that is something that while I lived in New York when I was raised there, it was something that I felt really in tune with, that I wasn't black enough for the real black people I also wasn't too Hispanic for Hispanic people. I wasn't Hispanic because I was dark skinned, right? So it's like, oh, you're black. I wasn't black because, oh, you light skinned. It's like, like I need to fit somewhere.
Yeah.
And so you kind of like almost create your own way, kind of a thing, right? So there was a lot of characters that I could identify with in that sense, and it was good to feel kind of represented in that aspect.
Mhm.
Hence why I like Into the Spider-Verse, because you have Miles, half black, half Puerto Rican,
Yeah.
half black, half Hispanic, right? And so being able to see essentially myself by extension, and my son, which we went with,
Mhm.
because he's black. Like his mom is black, like she's Dominican, but they're black. And I'm half black,
Uh-huh.
and so he's almost full black. Like he's black and Hispanic, but having him be able to see black pride almost
Mhm.
on film that wasn't Black Panther.
Yeah.
And talk about the culture in a very comedic way, but also bringing real shit up to like into the light.
Yeah.
It was really good to see.
Yeah.
As a white person, how'd you feel? You white like.
We had to literally turn down the lights in here because I was shining. So.
Oh my god.
I really enjoyed it. I feel like in a way I maybe need to step carefully as a white person. I don't know. But I thought it was really good, and like I felt like I could still relate to the characters even though I wasn't like in the culture. I enjoyed seeing kind of the friendship of everybody there. And like how much they looked out for each other. And like I think there's a lot of like pop culture references within the movie as well, because I feel like a lot of stuff has kind of become common to talk about just within society and stuff, I guess. Like even like on TikTok and stuff, you see references to a lot of things they say. So like I understood a lot of the humor. I thought it was super fun. I found it really interesting because there's a scene where everybody's like trying to decide who's the blackest, and so it was like just bringing up a bunch of stuff, and like I don't know, it was really funny, but I was also a little bit like, should I laugh? I don't know. Like I was like sitting next to you and you're like laughing out loud, and I'm like, I think I should laugh. I was like, I don't know, but it was funny. I thought it was like again, and like it was so well written.
Yeah.
It was just so fun.
Okay, so there's a question in the movie.
Mm-hmm.
There's actually a few questions in the movie.
Yeah.
I'm gonna ask you the first question that we heard.
Oh yeah.
Because I was thinking about it. I was like, I don't think there is. And then I thought about it, and I was like, there is.
You did think of someone?
Oh, hell yeah. So the question is, I'm going to say it actor, because naming the character is going to be hard. Name an actor in a horror movie that's black that survived. Yeah. I'm going to give you 30 seconds. I'll let you know when I'm going to cheat a little bit here. We're going to 30 seconds on the clock. Actually, I'm going to give you 20 seconds. Ready? And start thinking.
Can I say in Get Out, the characters in Get Out? The main guy. Because he is the only one that's running away, and he ends up spoiling. But yeah. The character from Get Out, the people in Us. This is so bad because I'm only thinking of it's made by black people. Oh no. I'm trying to think of other horror movies. Because nobody in Scream who's black got out. Yeah, see, I don't know. Did you think of someone?
Yeah.
Within like a mainstream horror movie?
Yes.
Who was it?
House on Haunted Hill, the first one, I believe is Taye Diggs.
Oh. I don't know if I've seen that one, so I don't know.
That's one that everybody should have watched by now. So it's not much of a spoiler.
Yeah, no.
But Taye Diggs in House on Haunted Hill, him and a white girl survive the house.
Oh, interesting.
Yeah.
Huh.
Because
Yeah.
I initially I was like, oh shit, like
Is there one?
I don't think there's any black person that survives a horror movie.
Yeah.
Because that's like almost like the main point of the movie, right? It's kind of like
There's like an underlying
right
theme there. Yeah.
the tropes of horror movies.
Yeah, yeah.
Like we see someone fall down as they're running away, which is the basic white thing.
Yeah.
King drops his gun. Again, a very white person thing. Drop the one weapon that's good against people. I thought it was hilarious, and you could see this in the trailer, I believe, when one of the guys is shooting,
Oh yeah.
and then the other dude fixes his hands to shoot properly. I was like, damn, you white, like, you ain't black, bro. But I digress. But yeah, Taye Diggs. Taye Diggs is definitely one of the survivors.
Nice.
Then the other question was name 5 black characters in Friends.
Yeah.
That shit was funny because I completely forgot about, I don't know their names, but Black Ann Biv was in Friends. She was Chandler's boss. Mr. Mosby from The Sweet Life of Zack and Cody.
Yeah.
He also plays Chandler's boss when Chandler goes into advertising. Aisha Tyler becomes a love interest to Ross, even though she started dating Joey.
Yeah.
And then is Gabrielle Union. She moves into the neighborhood for like an episode. And Joey's the one that starts helping her. And then Ross comes in. And then they start competing for her, which was hilarious because Joey starts talking about like the monkey and stuff like that.
Oh gosh.
And how his ex-wife is a lesbian. So that's funny. Who was the 5th one?
Did they name? They did name a 5th one.
They named all 5.
Oh, I can't remember. I think it might have been another one of somebody's boss.
It was 2 boss, 2 love interest. I don't remember who the 5th one is.
Yeah, I can't remember.
See, here's the thing. It doesn't matter if you got the question right. It didn't matter, which was funny.
Yeah.
That was really funny. And that is a play on one of the jokes on the skit that they did for Comedy Central, because it was like, who is the blackest? And then people start going around, and one of them is like, I watch Gilmore Girls every day.
Yeah.
Like, so it was kind of like a play on that. So it was really good. And I did like, though, how, because we watched the short today, we watched the skit today. I did like how that, 6-minute skit got elongated into this more complex storytelling tool that was just done gorgeously.
Yeah.
Like, I didn't feel like it was tacky that they expanded. I just felt like it was funny.
Yeah. Yeah, I totally agree. And I feel like they do such a good job of like showing the characters, showing their relationships with each other, because they're all coming to this cabin to hang out because they all went to college together. They're excited to be there together. And we see a lot of how they interact without them having to just say it out loud. We see how a couple of characters really butt heads. We see some past love interests come up, and we get to see how they interact with each other. And this is prevalent throughout the entire film, because they're like the way that they yell at each other, or like the reasons that they give for being the blackest, or things like that. And when you watch the sketch, you see how much they have in that small sketch that they spread out across the movie. It's not like they just took one scene and just transplanted it into this new film. It was like they took all of those things and like the personalities of these characters and really showed it throughout the entire film. And we get to see them running away. You get to see them fight. You get to see them make up. You get to see all these things with characters that you never met before. But by the end, like, you really like end up really liking them, kind of falling in love with them. And like, there's a lot of stakes even at the beginning, because I think they did such a great job of explaining who everybody was and like how close everyone got. So it was a lot of fun, and yeah, I really enjoyed each and every one of the characters, no matter who they were. We did talk right after getting out of the theater, and we said it was maybe a bit predictable, but it was still a lot of fun. Like, it felt like it fell into a lot of the tropes while also kind of breaking some tropes. But like, it was kind of predictable, but like, we weren't mad about it because we weren't like wanting to come in to watch this mind-bending thriller. We just wanted to come have fun. We wanted to laugh. And because it's something that's breaking so many tropes, I thought it was kind of fun to see it fall into a trope in a way, you know?
But yeah, Oba Batunde was the other character. There's a lot more, but he was one of the most famous ones that appeared on Friends.
Mhm.
That was gonna bother me the entire episode if I didn't say anything.
Good job finding it.
Thank you. It took so long. But yeah, you're correct. Like it was just fun to watch, you know. Like the predictability of it was just there.
Mhm.
However, it wasn't bad necessarily. Like it didn't take away from the story. And even though it also didn't take you through so many loops as to like, oh, I wonder who the killer is. It did go through a couple of those.
Mm-hmm.
And at the very beginning of the movie, it kind of hints as to who might be the mastermind of everything,
Mm-hmm.
because of what happens between an interaction between two people.
Yeah.
Also, the way Clifton says Hyundai
Yeah.
drives me insane. I have a friend that says that, and he says it just to fuck with me because he
Yeah.
knows it bothers me,
Uh-huh.
and that's what it reminded me of. My friend is black, by the way. He does that shit all the time. So yeah.
Yeah. And I think even because of the predictability, it kind of let you focus more on the characters than like trying to focus on who did it. It was like more of like you could still like pay attention to what they really wanted you to pay attention to was
Right.
like the humor, the comedy, and these relationships and like
And
also,
the social commentary.
Yeah, the social commentary,
Yeah.
exactly. Yeah.
I think one of the funny parts is in the skit, the part that makes one of the girls want to throw up is the part where she's wearing a Black Lives Matter shirt.
Yeah.
And then because she's getting called out and being the blackest one, she reverses her shirt and puts it backwards.
Yeah.
And then she's like, nah, because all
and everybody's like
everybody's about it, like that gag reflex of saying all lives matter. Kind of that was the joke.
Mhm.
They brought that same idea into the movie with saying the whitest thing, we should split up.
Yeah.
And it was like, the best thing that we could do is we should all split. I think it was just so funny to see all these tropes that we consider dumb shit white people do in horror movies. Just see them with black people.
Yeah.
Because it hurt them to do it. And so not only are we making fun of white people in horror movies specifically.
Yeah.
And a little bit outside of that. But also we're making fun of like the fact that survivability sometimes means doing these stupid decisions.
Mm-hmm.
Like the splitting up was smart because it taught them a lot of things, not only about themselves, but about the situation that was occurring.
Yeah.
And I loved how the wokeness of the movie wasn't necessarily wokeness, but it was also represented with a park ranger.
Yeah.
Clearly named Officer White.
Ranger White.
Ranger White. And it showed the distrust that some black people have towards white people. It showed how some white people genuinely do love black people,
Mm-hmm.
and they believe them, because we see Ranger White initially having not a great interaction with King,
Yeah.
but then when we see him again, he believes them.
Mm-hmm.
He doesn't just assume that they're like the bad guys. He believes what they're telling them.
Yeah.
And I love how they all drop their weapons.
Yeah.
But because Ranger White is so shady, bro, they all picked them up
Yeah.
very slowly
Uh-huh.
and then ran into his car. It was just funny.
Mhm.
I really enjoyed it. I think this isn't a movie that you're going to get all political about it. I'm sure there's going to be people, the same way that people are politicizing fucking Across the Spider-Verse.
Yeah.
I'm sure there's going to be people that'll be like, did you see the comment? Like, shut the
Yeah,
fuck up. It's a
yeah.
movie to shut up and enjoy.
Yeah.
Because, yes, we are putting it right in front of your fucking face, but we're also not trying to nail you with it.
Yeah, I agree. Sorry. I totally agree. And watching it, it's like, I think if you're really going to be offended by this movie, don't watch it.
Yeah,
It's like,
Absolutely.
it's called The Blackening for a reason. Like, don't watch this just to feel butthurt about it. Like, go and watch it, enjoy it. And I think that they put a lot of, like, things that they, like, I think they had a lot of social commentary in the movie, but, like, I didn't feel like it was, like, being shoved down your throat or something. It was often used as, like, comedy reasons and, like, also just, like, I think they made a lot of really good points in the movie. So it was,
Definitely.
I never felt like, I don't know, I didn't feel like guilty watching the movie, if that makes sense.
I don't think that the point was to make white people feel guilty.
Exactly.
I think it was calling out horror movies.
Yeah.
I think this was more not necessarily a call out to white people in the like en masse sense. I think it was to call out white people in Hollywood.
Yeah.
Stop making movies where black people die.
Yeah.
Like black people could be the heroes. I do like one of the tropes though.
Mm-hmm.
One of the tropes that they did was the trope between iPhone users and Android
Oh
users.
my gosh.
But hold on, do you know what the trope is in Hollywood?
I don't actually.
If you have an Apple, you are a protagonist.
Oh yeah, because Apple will not let antagonists use Apple. I totally
If you
forgot.
are a villain, you have an Android.
Oh my gosh, yeah.
So right from the start,
Yeah.
if you know that one trope, you know the villain.
Yeah.
Which is amazing. It's amazing that they told you,
Mm-hmm.
because then you kind of forget about it because you see them.
Yeah.
But it's a total Usual Suspects twist,
Mm-hmm.
which I loved. White trope again. However, it was done perfectly that you just ignore it.
Yeah.
And I love when movies are able to do that. And it just tells you that the writing about this, from this, which was the dude that plays Dwayne, he is one of the writers, it's just done with class.
Yeah.
It was done elegantly, and there's nothing to bitch and complain about it.
Yeah.
The gay jokes that you have in there from a gay guy, fantastic. The black jokes, the white jokes, the half and black.
Mm-hmm.
It was just great.
Yeah.
The Jim Crow Monopoly game that we had. Holy shit.
Yeah.
Like that is rough to see
Yeah.
because it was just meant to make fun of black people,
Mm-hmm.
but it was good. It was
Yeah.
fun to watch.
Mhm.
And so as far as should you take your kids to watch it? Yeah. If you're black. If you black, take your kids. Here's the thing. There is an insinuated sex scene.
Mm-hmm.
Nothing too crazy.
Yeah.
We just know that she took some drugs and then she's horny.
Yeah.
And it's like, you smell like dick when she comes back.
Yeah.
Which I thought that was funny. There is a part at the very beginning of or towards the beginning of the movie where one female character is talking to a male character, and she's like, if you do this, I'll touch your penis.
Oh yeah.
And then he's like, all right, cool. She's like, oh my gosh, you're so predictable.
Uh-huh.
Which, if you have sex in a horror movie, you're going to die.
True.
Some people did,
Another trope. Yeah.
but the beginning did,
Yeah.
which was really cool.
Uh-huh.
So yeah, so I mean, it was just fun to watch. I don't know how many times you're gonna say it was a fun watch and it was funny. You could take your kids if your kids are mature enough to hear someone say, "I'm gonna touch your penis,"
Mm-hmm.
if you do this, and saying, "Hey, take off your pants," but not see the sex scene.
Yeah.
Then you're fine.
Yeah. And also
a lot of cursing. There's
Yeah.
a lot of niggas like being thrown around.
Uh-huh.
So if you're not comfortable with that, don't go. If you're not comfortable with it, don't go. If you're not comfortable with your kids watching it, don't go. Don't take them. If you're comfortable and you want to say the N-word, don't go. I'm just saying. There's some people that just don't need to be saying the N-word.
Yeah, I agree.
And it's not because, oh, you're white or whatever.
Yeah,
I'm not that guy.
No.
I'm just saying we live in a society
We live in a society.
that's going to get you fucked up if you do. So.
Yeah, and I also think on the terms of gore, because this is a horror movie,
Sure.
it was pretty limited, honestly. Like,
Yeah.
there were a couple times where it's like, whoa, that just happened, but it wasn't like blood gushing or
Yeah.
stuff like that. There was like a couple of times where people were bleeding. There's one scene that insinuates a lot of gore, but it doesn't actually show much.
Mm.
So, like, that's one thing that I'm like, if the only thing you're worried about in movies for kids is gore, I think this one is actually
Full
not bad. Yeah,
Yeah.
like, I think that it's a very low gore level.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
I didn't even think about that just because that doesn't even cross my mind
yeah.
anymore.
Yeah, totally fair.
I just, oh shit, yeah, that
Yeah.
happened, kind of a thing.
Yeah, because for me, it's like, I honestly can handle, like, everything. The only thing that'll get me is some levels of gore.
Yeah.
So it's like, I think if you are sensitive to gore and things like that, this one's actually really good. This is not bad at all. So,
I agree.
and it's pretty comedic, honestly. So,
It's so funny.
like, the gore in it is pretty comedic.
I'm gonna take Miriam to go watch it
Totally, you should.
because it's just too
Yeah.
funny, too funny. And I'm probably gonna go with my best friend to go watch it
Nice.
as well.
Yeah.
Because we're black and we can laugh at shit together. So it's gonna be great. What would you rate it?
That is a good question. I would say I'm gonna go like 4 out of 5.
What? Bro, what are you talking about, man?
Because I really, really enjoyed it. I don't think that there was anything wrong with the movie at all. Like, there's nothing that I'd probably change. I feel like I felt a tiny bit like I didn't belong there in very small pieces of the movie.
What?
And so I feel bad. But it's not even that I didn't belong there. I just
Damn,
felt
that
like,
white guilt ain't enough to
I
make it a
know.
5.
But like, yeah, it was really good. I'm like, the reason I hesitate to give it a full 5 is because like we just watched The Covenant, and that was the first 5 we ever gave. And I feel like there's so much depth and so much to that movie that got it to a 5. But this one was like, it was a comedy. It was like a horror comedy. There wasn't like a whole lot going on beneath the surface, except for like a couple of relationships with people. So it's like super enjoyable. Really enjoyed it. But like, I think to get to a 5 for me, it needed to have like more context and like more going on under the surface, and stuff like that, and maybe more of a mystery. But like, it was really well written. It was just more of like, it doesn't quite make it to a 5 for me.
Sure.
So
She's wrong. I'm just gonna say that she's wrong. As far as horror comedies are concerned,
yeah,
my I guess like my measuring stick, Shaun of the Dead.
Mm-hmm.
I love Shaun of the Dead. I think Shaun of the Dead is one of those most perfect movies that you could watch.
Mm-hmm.
So good job, Edgar Wright, and Simon Pegg. So with that measuring stick, this is a 5 out of 5 for me.
Nice.
As far as horror comedies are concerned, one, you have enough story and context as to who these people are, how they are correlated to each other, how those relationships have matured over the 10 years that you kind of, they have had, some apart, some constantly together. You understand what it is that you understand their wants, you understand their needs. There is almost like a big dramatic segment in it. You had all your funny elements into it. You had a lot of references to black culture that were appropriate. You had other references that I'm not going to say they're inappropriate, but you have them calling out specific social shit that is important to call out.
Yeah.
And they were talking about Juneteenth. So technically, it's not the first Juneteenth movie. However, it is one that it's meant to be for that date, right?
Yeah.
So June 16th tends to be Juneteenth. It's got moved to Monday. So happy Juneteenth, everybody. Because you will be watching this on Juneteenth, so happy Juneteenth.
Oh my gosh.
Look at that.
Wow.
And so it was just great. And I think if you don't want to be sad on such an important date, this is definitely a movie that you should go watch.
Yeah.
So for me, it's a 5 out of 5.
Yeah. And honestly, you saying that, and you're saying like within the realm of horror comedy, you give it a 5 out of 5. I'd totally give it a 5 out of 5 in the horror comedy genre.
Oh, it's not good enough
100%.
for Hollywood, though, huh?
Oh my gosh.
That's what
You're making me put my foot in my mouth.
white people, bro.
Jeez. But yeah, definitely, especially within the horror genre, definitely a 5 out of 5. Easy. Yeah, I was just more saying within the realm of every movie I've ever seen in my life, it was a 4 out of 5. But of every horror movie that I've seen, definitely a 5 out of 5.
For me, it's just
wanna
in general.
clarify.
For me, it's just in general
Yeah.
a 5 out of 5.
I know.
Yeah, but for you got to be specific.
I'm just clarifying. I guess we can't have the same thing, okay?
Definitely recommended to watch. It's definitely a movie to go watch in theaters.
Yeah.
I definitely recommend theaters, which is not often that I do because I do like the comfort of my own home to watch a movie. But again, this is one of those things that it's like, if you're black and you have black friends and y'all want to laugh out loud at a movie theater, I think this is one of those movies that it's almost appropriate to yell at the theater. Be like, don't go there.
Yeah. Ah!
Like, it's almost, don't do it. It's almost appropriate
Yeah.
to do that.
I just remember sitting next to you in the theater, and there were a couple times that you went, damn. Damn.
There are a lot of damn moments in that movie.
Yeah.
But I also had to keep it a little more PG because the kid wasn't around.
Yeah.
But I don't think it would have been damn if he wasn't.
Yeah.
But it was just fun. it's fun to watch movies like that. You know, it's not Black Panther. It's something that I told you earlier, right? It's like it's not a Black Panther movie, and so it's just good to see comedy and horror done right.
Yeah,
with black people. Just saying.
Nice.
We got to bring it back to that. But yeah, and one of the most important things that I took from there is that you got to learn the Black National Anthem.
Oh yeah.
Because you never know
when it's gonna
when
save
save your life. Yeah. Yeah, everybody knows the first verse, but I even was thinking about it because it really makes you think. Like especially with a lot of the questions when we get to the harder ones, like I even had to think. I was like, shit, what is it? I would have died. I still don't know it, but yeah, that's it. I mean, this was one of the smallest episodes, one of the quickest ones, just because it's not a movie that you could go and be like, oh my gosh, like they thought about this. It's what you see is what you get. Yeah. And
in the best way possible, honestly. Yeah. Like, it's great.
All the underlying issues are come to the surface and you're good. Like, there's no need to think deeper about it. Learn how to play spades.
Oh, yeah.
I need to be better at spades. I'm not really that good. So learn how to play spades. Learn the National Black Anthem. And stop criticizing people about their blackness. I think that's the takeaway of this movie. Don't criticize people about their blackness. If they're black, they're black. It is what it is, you know? And if they want to be proud of their black part, then let them be proud about their black part. If they want to be proud of their white part, ostracize them a little bit. I'm kidding. Nah, be proud of what you are. Be proud of your heritage, whatever it might be. Yeah. And you'll live longer. You'll be happier. But that's it. Thank you for clicking on this episode and watching us talk about the Blackening. So
yeah, and don't forget, if you haven't subscribed yet, if you haven't followed us on Spotify or iTunes or wherever you watch this or listen to it, make sure to follow, because you can do that on Spotify. You can follow podcasts. We didn't know that till recently. And then on YouTube, make sure to hit the subscribe button and leave a comment. Leave us a review. Let us know how we're doing. Yeah.
If it's less than a 5, just don't bother.
Just don't bother. I'm just kidding.
No, any review is fine, honestly. Yeah. We'll talk about it, you know? Yeah. If we can make it better for you.
Yeah. We want to know what you're thinking, what you guys want to see. You can even leave recommendations and stuff in the comments on YouTube.
Yes.
What you want us to talk about next. Things you think we missed or things you liked about the episode. Yeah. But until the next time that we see you, make sure to keep reading those comic books, keep watching those movies, keep watching that anime, and stay nerdy. I think I forgot something, but thanks for watching, guys.
And let us know what you thought about the Blackening.
Yeah.